Singapore Management University, okay, SMU. So in SMU itself, I've been exposed to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of innovators, a lot of different innovation, and that spurred my interest, okay, as academia, as someone who was very interested in practicing business. So I think over the years itself, I actually take that interest further, okay, and I do a lot of extensive studies and a lot of research in different aspects. And with that, I would like to set certain expectations for the webinar. So we'll start at 10, as promised. Second, for people who have been with me previously, they'll know, okay, I will always keep the questions towards the end, or if not, when I open up the floor for discussion, okay? And in this webinar, you will only see selected case studies and application. Okay, I will not be able to do what I normally do in a physical class, okay? Like, for example, spend 3 hours with you, deep dive into every single aspect of things, because I only have 1.5 hours. And time is a bit compressed, but although we have actually limited time, okay, I still make a very conscious effort to walk through with you cases to certain industries or something. When you look at today's case studies, okay, actually companies itself, I would say, honestly, it doesn't come from me. Okay, it was actually picked as a result of my students' participation. Okay, and I find that it's really important, okay, that all of you would actually be able to understand a bit more, okay, as we go along, right? Okay, apologies to those people where the internet connection is not too good, okay, because I think there's a number of people, okay, here, but I'll try my best to actually open up, okay? So today's topic, disruptive and value innovation. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about two things. First, what's disruptive innovation? Second, how can we value add? Okay, how can we create value innovation in the process? And in this case, we are looking at first, okay, innovation. So some of you have been with me in the previous webinar. I was mystify this buzzword. Okay, so what's innovation? If I were to put it into layman's term, okay, a lot of people correlate that with invention. It's not invention. Invention and innovation are two different things altogether, okay? And it's a creation of a viable, okay, viable here means value adding, okay? It must be financially sustainable. If a offering is not money making or is not able to see the market, it is not considered innovation. So it must be able to add dollars and cents to what you're doing every day, okay? Finally, new, okay, it may not be new to the world, okay? Invention means you're creating something that the world has not seen, okay? But in innovation, you are borrowing ideas, you're borrowing offerings from other sectors or other industries or other countries. You're putting that back to where you belong. Finally, offering, a lot of people would always equate that, okay, to products, okay, processes. We are going beyond products and processes. Okay, we are trying to actually look at other aspects like services, business models, so on and so forth. Okay, one of the most popular questions I get every time when I go into my class or before I connect in class, people ask me, oh, what does that even affect me? Okay, to show you a bit of example, I think it's always important for us to walk through the growth of any organization. First, when you start small, when you have one person, again, that's when you are an entrepreneur. And when you're in the entrepreneur stage, you're looking at founding innovation. You need to have some basic ideas of what to do, okay, what to offer the market. And most people start with product or process innovation. Okay, that's the main thing that entrepreneurs do when they first started out their business. As the business grows, okay, the business starts to hire middle managers. Yeah, and middle managers are brought in to increase the efficiency, the operational functionality of any organization. They will focus on two things. Okay, first, process and product. And in this case, they are looking at incremental innovation. Incremental innovation means I'm doing bit by bit. Okay, every day I'm trying to change something. I'm trying to improve as I go by. I'm trying to make things a lot better. Eventually, it gets big enough where you can actually hire an initial board of directors. So this early board of directors would focus on radical innovation, okay, but still product-based, still process-based. So radical innovation in this case applies to disruptive innovation. Okay, so a lot of actually early companies out there, they are looking at disruptive innovation to start. And finally, when the organization gets huge, okay, coming up to a medium size, it will start to organize, okay, itself in terms of achieving organization innovation. Finally, when it becomes big enough, okay, to conquer the world, to go out of a country, you will start to appoint your CEO, okay, and your CEO, your C-suites will focus on strategic innovation. Okay, so if you realize as the company evolved from a one-man show, okay, to a multi-million national company, okay, you will see that innovation takes place in different stages in terms of different concentration. Okay, so for someone who's actually involved in business or running the show or managing divisions, innovation applies to you every day. It's just a matter of where should we be spending your time and your attention. Okay, so I will focus on disruptive innovation for today's webinar because disruptive innovation is such a big buzzword. The government has been talking about that ever since COVID situation. Every day they're telling you, okay, you should change your business model. You should look at new ways of digitizing, okay, your activities. That is actually disruptive in a way because it puts you away from what you are used to and what you have been doing for a long time. According to the creator of this buzzword, okay, Professor Clayton Christenson. Okay, Professor Clayton Christenson has left us, okay, has left the world a few months ago, but he left behind a legacy. He left behind this big buzzword called disruptive innovation. Okay, we are talking about a business theory that describes how something new can disrupt something that is existing. Okay, in this case, a market, and eventually it triggers the growth of an entirely new one. That is based on his publication in 1997. And today we are still using this big buzzword, disruption. Okay, so what is big disruptions? One of the key questions that people must ask, whether you're in any organization, what business are you in? Here we are talking about framing innovation. Okay, how do you frame, okay, your business? So are you in the telco business or are you in the communication business? If you're in the communication business, doesn't that make you also you're in a media business? So the different types of framing innovation that you have in your mind would also, to a certain extent, decide, okay, where you are going to disrupt and who you're going to disrupt. So this is actually a diagram, okay, a graph that I took, okay, about 5 years ago. Unfortunately, in the last 5 years, there's no formal statistics or no formal correlation of how disruption is affecting us. Okay, so I would say this is a latest one. Okay, Straits Times, okay, and Business Times in 2015, okay, they did a study, okay, of all the major industries and how much disruption is taking place in individual industries. So you see that music obviously is more or less disrupted because now you have your iTunes, you have your Spotify's, okay, and then of course you have your YouTube music coming up to contest. And of course, the printing business is very affected, retail. So practically all major industries that you see today has a certain level of disruption. And remember, because this is taken 5 years ago, okay, today the context will be quite different. I will predict, okay, in fact, I think it's factual as well, that music has more or less been replaced. Nobody downloads MP3s anymore, okay? Very few people goes to the music label shops, stores, and get their latest CD. If you still remember what's a CD, okay? So newspapers, a lot of us today read news over the digital space rather than getting a physical hard copy, right? And obviously, a lot of other industries are ripe for disruption, okay? So one thing that we take away, disruption, just a matter of time, is whether you're the disrupted, okay, or you're the disruptor. Which is which? Okay, would you like to be the disruptor or you would like to be the incumbents? I think incumbents itself always have a very comfortable position where they say, okay, I'm stable, I have huge revenue, I have a strong market leadership, but you are just being complacent, and complacency will affect you in time, because when disruption takes place, it takes place very slowly. Okay, and that's when you are not even noticing it at all. So we're going to go a bit deeper to see how disruption affects us. Okay, so first I need to bring you to two contexts. First, sustaining innovation. Okay, so what's sustaining innovation? Also known as incremental innovation. This is exactly what middle managers do every day. I'm only looking at making small changes, okay, every day. I'm trying to improve certain processes bit by bit, but I'm not changing the whole process. I'm not doing a 360-degree change, okay? And because you are doing bits of incremental changes, it perpetuates the whole business model. You find that the whole entire business model that you have been adopting today is all around sustainable innovation, okay? And it only leads, eventually, if you keep on improving, it will only lead to overdevelopment of features that people don't really need, but you feel that it's important that people have it, but you're not getting paid for that sufficiently. So sustainable innovation is practically found everywhere. Okay, everybody is trying to improve things. Everybody is trying to add certain value, or so-called value, to their customers, but it may not be. The more radical one will be disruptive innovation. So here, the disruptive innovation focus on one thing. We produce simple, good enough goods. May not be the best, may not be the most advanced, but it's good enough to serve your basic needs. Okay, compare that to sustainable innovation. Okay, one talks about making changes every day. The other one talks about coming up with a basic value proposition that people can adopt, but they are not prepared to pay you. That's fine. Okay, we can start small, and then before you build up your base. And then in disruptive innovation, we are also looking at the possibility of transforming, changing the rules of an industry. Okay, and in the process, we are helping people to fulfill, okay, complex or sophisticated tasks where they don't really need to spend as much effort or as much cost. So when you do a comparison between the two, you'll be able to see a very big contrast. One is just talking about what you're doing every day, getting better and better. The other one is actually changing whatever you've been doing to come up with a new way of appealing to a market or appealing to a segment. Okay, so some example. What's sustainable innovation? Sustainable innovation, you can find that in a lot of examples. For example, here I have using Gillette razor blades. Okay, and you can do it better. Okay, a lot of you who have actually used blades before, you'll realize that, oh, there are many different types of razor handles. Some comes with 2 blades, some come with 3, some come with 4. Gillette has always been adopting incremental innovation. Today, I give you 3 blades. Okay, I charge you this amount. Tomorrow, I'm coming up with a 5-blade razor. Okay, I'm going to actually charge you a higher amount. But it's just adding 1 blade at a time. Nothing transformational. It doesn't change the way that you use a razor. Okay, so they're only doing it slightly better, giving you a slightly better shave, a cleaner shave, but it's not transforming the whole industry. Okay, it does not create new growth. It is always appealing to the same group of customers day in, day out. They have not thought about actually going out of the razor business to do something that's very groundbreaking. So in sustainable innovation, yes, you can still appeal to your current customers. You can still convince them to come back to pay you a given amount every month, but it does not break new grounds. Okay, and that is something that a lot of organizations are stuck with today. Okay, I'm always thinking about how to make my products slightly better and better and better, but I may not be charging more and more. Okay, so sustainable innovation has this limitation. Okay, disruptive innovation, okay, is usually brought about because of technology advancements, and you will typically realize one thing. Okay, you will always have a drop, okay, in your revenue as you go down, okay, as you advance in time. Okay, a lot of actually business today are being disrupted, and here I've given a few examples. Of course, newspaper, you can see, okay, newspaper industry has already been transformed to go digital. There's a few other products that you see, cassette tapes, okay, you have your Fujifilms, okay, you have your Game Boys. This used to be our favorite toys. This used to be what we have been using, okay, about 10 to 20 years ago. But in today, you only find them in the museums. Why? Because disruptive innovation is there, is replacing some of these things that we've been using for quite a while. Okay, the good news, disruptive innovation creates a new industry. Every time I talk to my students, I talk to some of my previous learners, they always highlight, okay, disruptive innovation is scary. Yes, it's scary for people who are not prepared. But for people who are prepared, it's exciting, it's challenging, because you're trying to create industry out of nowhere. And usually in the creation of this industry, it gives you actually the promised land of new growth. It gives you actually exponential capacity to outgrow actually people who have been entrenched in the industry. So we are going to look at disruptive innovation, okay, in greater details. So how does it help us? It creates new markets. We know that, okay. It helps you to create new markets or new customers that have never patronized, okay, this industry before. It disrupts people, especially those people who are very well entrenched, very established. And we are talking about, in most cases, the market leaders. Okay, how can someone who is very young as a company, how can a company that is very young disrupt a very established business that has been around for 50 years, 100 years, or even more? Well, that's because they put some ideas into gameplay, and that has to do with the creation of value, which we're going to look at much later. Okay, it displays earlier technology. Technologies today itself, because they are advancing at such a fast pace, okay, it's either you ride on the frontiers of technology or you get behind that technology, and eventually you're pushed out of this sector or this particular market, right? It's unpredictable, because today I can think about disrupting you, okay? I can't stop you from disrupting me tomorrow. Okay, so a lot of digital businesses today says that, yes, I can go digital. Okay, but the sad thing is there's a way to disrupt digital businesses too, okay, which I am not covering here, but I just need to let everybody know digital businesses are not foolproof. Okay, there are ways to disrupt digital businesses. Okay, and that's something that we will take it off in other webinars in time to come. Okay, so we actually also look at disruptive innovation, how they go about designing, how they start to appeal to different groups of audience. What is it that they offer that's so different from the incumbents? Okay, and usually in disruptive innovation, they put the price into question. Okay, they challenge the equation of price in the current market. Okay, and price innovation is another key thing that we'll be covering later on as we go into the case studies. Okay, if I put it into a presentation, okay, it gives you in the form of a graph. This line, this solid line that you see, okay, the traditional technology, these are the incumbents, people who have been around for a very, very long time. US, they start pretty well with a good first mover advantage. As they go along, okay, with time, okay, they are climbing as well. But usually for disruptive innovation, is always actually coming from a perspective of a follower. Someone who's trying to disrupt this market would spend years or maybe months later on studying your market, understanding what customers want, your preference line for performance, understand what customers really need, what are some of their pain points, what are some of their issues, and then before they create a slightly better product than the incumbent, but basic enough, okay, but not so sophisticated, basic product, okay. And as they go, within a short period of like a few months or even a few years, they can attract a big pool of customers. So how do they go about doing that? It has to do with the word value creation, which we are going to study pretty much very soon, okay, in a couple of slides later. So a few industries have been disrupted. Okay, here you can look at actually hotels. Okay, you can look at actually music. You can look at retail. You can also look at ride sharing. So when you look at hotels, you look at music, you look at online shopping. Okay, these are very, very emerging areas. Okay, in fact, these unfortunately the disruptors, they themselves are also ripe for disruption. Okay, we're going to look at some of these factors. Why are they ripe for disruption? Okay, some of the actually examples I can share. Okay, when you look at actually technological innovation, when you look at industrial revolution, okay, we have gone through 3 revolutions so far. Okay, some of these items that I mentioned here under technology, these are brought about as a result of the previous industrial revolution, industrial revolution 1.0 to 3.0. Now we are looking at much more advanced than these technologies. We are looking at this radical innovation. Okay, so obviously some of these products itself, they themselves are being disrupted by other, okay, technologies or other forms of innovation. For example, if you focus on digital imaging, okay, digital cameras used to be very much in track, okay, in the early 2000s leading up to the late 2010s. But today, have you ever seen someone who carries a digital camera going around taking photos? I think it's getting rare. I'm not saying never. You will still see some people who walk around with digital cameras, especially when they go on holidays. But I think every time when I go on holidays, I see a lot of people just whipping out their smartphones. Okay, the cameras on the smartphones are much better than some of the digital cameras that you see out in the market. Okay, and why are actually these cameras, okay, all these cameras that's found in the smartphones disrupting digital cameras? Because one key thing, ease of use. Okay, it's really easy to use your smartphone and take photos. Yes, resolution may not be good enough, but it's enough, okay, to satisfy the demands of users, and that's good enough. Okay, all you need is to have a product that replaces digital cameras, and you start using that. Okay, and it builds up very quickly within a short window of time. Okay, when you look at actually game consoles, I always use this as one of the highlights. Okay, because game consoles, a lot of people grew up with games when they're young. Okay, we have grown up with the PS1s to the PS4s. Okay, and then eventually came out Wii. Okay, Wii actually was the follow-up. PS4 was an incumbent. So what has PS4, okay, lose out, okay, to Wii in? Okay, it lose out in many areas. Okay, first, I think the complexity, okay, of the PS4 was quite difficult for non-gamers to understand or to even control, okay, their games, the flow of their games. But Wii was really simple. It's just actually a very simple, very futuristic design where you just need to use a wrist, okay, to carry out certain motions. So in Wii, they also spotted another big difference. Okay, PS4 was for the very serious gamers. Okay, Wii was meant for the families, meant for the kids, meant for the retirees. Okay, and that's why in their design, the way that they actually put up the game console, it was meant to be just simple and manipulative. Okay, and here you can see how Wii takes a lot of time to understand the market, to look at what actually PS4 has failed to fulfill. And PS4 have obviously captured a big, okay, segment of this serious gaming business, but they forgot about the youngsters. Okay, in this case, the kids. They forgot about the retirees. They forgot about the housewives, or they even forgot about the typical family man. Okay, nobody actually really wants to sit down, spend hours on a very serious machine and try to work out. So we spotted all these gaps. Okay, and we goes about designing and trying to fulfill the demands of these ignored businesses. Okay, so what are the warning signs? How do you know that your organization or your industry is ripe for disruptive innovation? Okay, I feel that when you look at actually some of these factors, some of it may apply, some of it don't really apply. But when you look at actually a combination of all eight, okay, the more signs that you see, the more worrying your business becomes, or the more worrying your industry becomes. First, price. Okay, when consumers talk to you, everything is just about dollars and cents, nothing more. They are not interested to know anything else. Every day, they are just telling you price, price, price. Give me the best price. If it's not free, I'm not interested. Okay, so price is one of the big concerns for consumers. But if the conversation that you have with your customers, with your consumers is all about price, that is a very worrying sign. Second, okay, you have new products, but your new products no longer fulfill the demands of your market or your customers. Okay, yes, you roll out new versions, you roll out new variations, okay, of your products or your services, but nobody is buying or nobody is interested to adopt. Okay, and that's when you realize that you hit actually a rock, okay, in your product development, right? So new products fail to entice. Okay, third, when you have actually unlikely customers taking away your market share. For example, a lot of times when you go to cinemas, a lot of people say, oh, I'm there for entertainment. Okay, but Netflix is capturing your eyeballs as well. They are taking away the attention of the cinema goers. So if you are actually Golden Village, if you are Cathay, okay, you should be more worried about Netflix and all these online streaming services because they're going to win some of your market share. And once they build sufficient actually track record, they are going to disrupt you, okay, eventually. And that's exactly what we see now, okay, with COVID situation. Cinemas are closed. Everybody is just depending on Netflix or other online streaming, okay, services to fulfill your entertainment needs. Okay, the fourth is when you see industry is fermenting. Okay, this industry is no longer consolidated as one. There are many small different niches, and everybody seems to have a strong market share in some of these niches. That is when your industry can be disrupted very quickly, because all it takes is someone who looks at these niches, assembles something that fulfills most of these niches, and voila, he becomes the new market leader. Okay, your trusted management playbook no longer works. Okay, your secret recipe, your trade secrets of enticing the market is no longer able to fulfill the demands of your businesses. Okay, that means nobody is actually enticed by you anymore. Nobody believes in what you have to offer. Okay, and your management has run out of ideas of what to do. Okay, your young people, your young talents decide to leave. They are disoriented. They find that, oh, I'm in a very challenging industry. So challenging that it doesn't make sense for me to stay, because every day is just talking about price, every day is just talking about products. Okay, so your young talents will start to leave, okay, your organization. Okay, there's a big growth gap. Instead of you growing as year on year, your growth, your market share is coming down. And there's a big gap in the sense, oh, there's a sudden drop in your market share. Okay, and lastly, I hope you're not coming to the last warning sign. Okay, when your business leaders, okay, your management needs a miracle, they do not know what to do. They ran out of ideas. They're just praying that tomorrow's business will become better. And this is something that you see in a lot of F&B outlets today. A lot of traditional non-essential businesses. Management are praying for a miracle. Okay, and to pray for a miracle, it is always not as fulfilling as if you're trying to look at ways of disrupting someone else. Okay, so the big question, why is disruption so difficult, especially when you are incumbent? Okay, incumbents are very comfortable, very complacent in certain ways. They are very well entrenched. They have strong market power. They have high market share. So why is it so difficult for them to adopt? Since they have the resources, they have the people, they have the know-how. So why is it so difficult for them? I attribute that to a few reasons. Okay, these are the 9 ingredients that's needed to facilitate innovation. So some businesses, okay, especially incumbents, they find that they're content with what they have. So growth orientation is a problem. Okay, they are not interested in achieving exponential growth. They're just hoping to grow organically, okay, bit by bit. Okay, and in many cases, they rely on mergers and acquisition, M&As. Mergers and acquisition is not a very sustainable way to grow, because you're buying over people. You're not creating new markets. You're just buying people. Hopefully, these people can help you to actually expand your market share or your market reach. Okay, so some of these factors are simply missing. Okay, so because in the interest of time, I cannot zoom into every one of these ingredients to walk you through. I also find that one of the biggest pushing factor for actually incumbents not being able to innovate is because they don't have a strategy. Okay, they don't really know what they are doing. Okay, they have been successful for many years. They have continued to be successful all the while. All of a sudden, now you're telling them that someone who's smaller, someone who's less actually resourceful is able to disrupt their business. It's complacency. They probably won't think that way. They will find that, yeah, probably, maybe, okay, but the truth remains to be there. Okay, so we will need to bring you behind disruptive innovation to see what are you able to do to help yourself, to help your organization, and probably to help your future enterprises. Okay, value innovation. Okay, it was brought about from this book called Blue Ocean Strategy. I know some of you have read this book before. I know you probably have read the latest version as well. Okay, but in terms of application, I think a lot of these applications inside this book is pretty actually multinational. Okay, it's not localized enough. Okay, it's not adapted to suit our own Asian context. So here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually use the ideas behind this book, okay, to bring you behind the word value innovation. So what's value innovation? Value innovation itself, we are talking about increasing value for customers. Okay, we're trying to give them new benefits, new services, but at the same time reducing costs. So how do we reduce costs? We take away those things that are redundant or those things that the customers do not want. So we're talking about actually a two-pronged approach. One, we are increasing the value, okay, allowing customers to know that we're giving them better services or better products. But at the same time, we're keeping a close check on your costs. Okay, we are trying to take away things which no longer matter. So in the end, you will achieve this sandwich called value innovation. Okay, so basic ideas behind blue and red ocean. Okay, many of the essential services today are in the red ocean. Okay, you don't really mean to tell you that. Logistics are in red ocean, shipping is in red ocean, F&Bs are in red ocean. Why? Because there's a known marketplace, there are many competitors, and this market share is shared. It's like a pizza. The more people that is interested in this pizza, okay, the less bite you have. So instead of you looking at just red ocean, we are looking at the blue ocean, or the promised land of riches. So in blue ocean, we are trying to look at unknown market space. We're trying to reinvent, okay, a new industry. Here in red ocean, you realize that you're forced, okay, the rules of the game, the competition is fixed. Okay, this is how people go about competing. If it's based on price, I fight you based on price. If this is based on services, I'll fight you based on services. Okay, but nobody really thinks about challenging the norms, challenging the rules. And that's why disruptive innovation looks at the blue ocean perspective. We are redefining the market rules. We are redefining the industry structures. And we're trying to reconstruct, okay, industry beliefs. So if you think that you're in a telco business, yes, you're just a telco. Okay, you only provide the handphone and you only provide the mobile phones. But in the telco business today, they will no longer stay true to telco. Today, they are in the business of building up media. Okay, they are media, they are communications business. Why? They help you to interact. They help you to facilitate discussions, okay, between peers to peers, between companies and companies. So they rebrand themselves. They say that, okay, now I'm in the media business. And if I'm in a media business, contents becomes key. And that's why I should focus a lot on contents. I'm trying to buy over media companies. I'm trying to buy over production houses, okay, to push contents out to you. So I'm evolving, moving away from telcos to go into media business. Okay, and media business is definitely much more rewarding than telco in many perspectives. Okay, if I do a quick comparison, this is the characteristics. These are the characteristics of blue and red. Okay, the blue ocean will obviously be much more enticing. Okay, the red ocean will be the one that is more punishing. Okay, so when you look at between the two, you have some of the very important key takeaways. Okay, blue ocean, you are trying to make the market irrelevant. Okay, red ocean, you try to focus on survival. You try to outmaneuver, try to outcompete. Here in red ocean, we make a value cost trade-off. Okay, if I'm trying to give you the best, I don't really need to worry about the cost. If I'm trying to focus on the cost, sorry, I can't give you the best. And that is one of the trade-offs that you see in red ocean. In blue ocean, okay, it believes that both can be achieved at the same time. It's just that you need to look at alignment of your activities. Okay, so here in red ocean, you can only choose one. Either you go by cost or you go by differentiation. But in blue ocean, it says that yes, both are doable. Okay, so with that, I introduce you to ERRC model, also known as a 4 actions framework, found in the same book, Blue Ocean. Okay, I know this is a theory that has been around for quite a while. Okay, but unfortunately, a lot of companies still will not be able to achieve this because everybody only focus on value. This pyramid here that you see, I raise the offerings, I create new products. Okay, but nobody talks about elimination of cost or reduction of cost. Can I just give you a simple enough actually model where I'm not going to give you too much features? So these are some of the key things that value innovation talks about. First, I look at 2 things. I look at the cost perspective and I look at the value perspective. Okay, when these 2 pyramids intersect, I'll see this VI in the middle, and that's what is known as value innovation. Okay, first goal, okay, those at the top, eliminate or reduce. I'm looking at lowering of costs. I want to take away those that doesn't matter to a customer. I want to take away things that no longer is relevant to the market. Okay. Second goal, I want to enhance and create features that do not increase my cost. I can give you more things, but this additional stuff that I'm giving to you shouldn't be inflating my cost too much. It shouldn't be resulting in unnecessary overheads. So when you actually marry 2 contradicting models together, you will be able to achieve what we call VI, okay, value innovation. So how do we go about achieving value innovation? Okay, I will reassemble that into a box, okay, put in some very loosely used simple terminology. So eliminate. What are we trying to eliminate? Okay, what can you remove that your current industry has completed? Okay, what can you reduce? Okay, that is below the industry standard. Can you reduce something to below the industry standard? For example, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I need to have a very, very good customer service. But if your industry itself is just only a one-off, one-touch, okay, transactional in nature, why would you need to have such a excellent customer service framework? You don't really need that, right? You can still provide basic customer service, but you don't need excellent customer service. So these are the 4 key questions that we will need to ask. First, eliminate. Okay, so those on the left side, what are we trying to do? We are trying to understand your cost structure, okay, versus your competitors. What can we do to drop your cost structure? Can we take away something that no longer matters? Can we reduce something below what is acceptable? Okay, or what industries have used for a long time? Okay, on the right side, you will see rise. So what factors can we increase to make it more appealing? How can we actually make this much more enticing versus my peers? Can I create something out of nowhere? Okay, something that my other customers have never achieved. So it's a balancing act. Okay, on the left side, we are looking at dropping of costs. On the right side, we are looking at how to lift your buyer's expectation and create new demand. So these 2 very contradicting sides, okay, will come together to combine and give you value innovation. So let's focus on Apple iTunes. Okay, I'm not going to zoom in directly into this, but this is quite important for you to understand. Okay, because when you look at iTunes, okay, a lot of people has been using Apple for quite a while, but nobody really understands why is iTunes so successful. If I break it down into strategy canvas, you'll notice a few concerns. Those at the bottom, the x-axis, okay, those factors that you see here, these are the factors of competition. In other words, these are what the industry is competing on, okay? So they are competing on IPs, okay, piracy concerns. They're competing on pricing models. They're competing on restrictions. They're also competing on music quality, music selection, and simplicity of use, okay? But you realize that these lines that you see, the blue line is obviously iTunes. The red lines are other subscription-based services. For example, your YouTube Music, okay? P2P networks are your previous actually download networks, okay, where you can actually download MP3s. So you look at iTunes blue line, okay, is also what we call the value line, okay. It deviates, okay, very, very much from the rest of the other industry players. So certain factors that are not important to them, they will remove, okay, eliminate, they take away, okay. So in this case, iTunes is not worried about privacy concern. Why? Because you pay for every iTunes music that you download, okay. It's not worried about complex pricing, okay. It takes away complex pricing. They tell you it's only 99 cents, okay. You don't need to buy the whole CD. You can buy music, again, buy titles, right? And it actually starts to reduce, okay. Restrictions in use are very high, okay, for subscription-based music, but it starts to reduce the restriction. Oh, you can use it anywhere you want. You can download this music. You can use it in your smartphones. You can use it in your MP3 players, so on and so forth, if you still have one, okay. And then subsequently, you realize that as they go along into other factors of production, there's something that's sticking out. This value line, okay, has factors that's sticking out beyond what P2P networks or service-based description have, and that's a pay by song, free sampling, and iTunes. Okay, iTunes, Apple, spend a lot of time to study the market, and they realize that these are things that others do not have. So they actually created new offerings. And it's this exactly this blue line that's sticking out that makes a big difference. This is the disruptive nature of iTunes. iTunes gives you something that the rest of the others don't have, and they also remove some of these factors that no longer matter to a customer, okay? So two purpose. What are we trying to do here? Strategy canvas. We're trying to understand, okay, what's the current state of play? What are the factors of competition that's out there? How are your competitors competing, okay, with you? What are some of the key things that goes on the market? How are they enticing your customers? So it allows you to understand very quickly the current situation, okay? Second, it allows you to understand where the industry is going to invest, okay? Because if your competition has always been focusing on the factors of production, okay, they have not created this sticking out portion of your value curve, you realize that the best that they will do is they always try to increase or they try to reduce. But nobody thinks about this portion that's sticking out. So it's good. Okay, when you know your customers well, you can change, okay, the customer's perspective, especially if you're the first mover into this. So strategy canvas with just an image, it allows you to understand where you can be different and how different you can be. Okay, it allows you to compare your factors of competition. Right? So this value curve, we are trying to understand, which is this blue line for iTunes, the red line for subscription-based music. We are trying to understand how a company is performing across all the different factors. And in value innovation, the biggest thing is not just this sticking out part of the value curve, it's the whole thing, because ERRC, we need to understand the whole 4 factors, how they are integrating with each another. So every time in my class, okay, I will always spend a fair bit of time to carry out some hands-on, okay, with my students or with my trainees. I'll give them a particular company or industry, and I'll get them to redesign or to point out the factors of production, okay, for me, or the factors of competition for me. And then I get them to draw cost curves, etc. And then we see where can we innovate, okay? So this is actually not my work, to be honest, okay? These are coming out from my trainees, okay? So my trainees itself, they'll put together a business model. So in this case, they identified bakery and confectionery, okay? Very, very important today, right? Okay, so if you look at actually the business model, this is how the factors of production is, okay? The factors of competition is right now for the bakery and confectionery business, okay? You guys, they look at customer segments, they look at key activities, key partners, so on and so forth. These are the things that they need to do to make sure that their business is surviving and operating. But when I go into a strategy canvas, in this case, they have chosen 2 companies, BreadTalk and Prima Deli. Okay, so they identify a few factors. Okay, let's look at some of these factors. For example, price, quality, product range, customer service, convenience and location, as well as halal certification. Okay, so towards the left side, okay, you realize that these are the factors of competition that these 2 bakeries are always competing on. Okay, but BreadTalk takes it further. BreadTalk, okay, has this sticking up portion, and this is where they create new stuff. Okay, the innovation part, the disruptive innovation part of it. Okay, they created see-through kitchens. They also created new bread items, okay, and new conceptual concepts. They also have notification device prompts through mobile devices. Okay, Prima Deli doesn't have that. And to be fair to Prima Deli, okay, it has been around even before I was born. Okay, they started out as actually a flour milling business. Okay, and eventually they went to the confectionery business. So if some of you are around my generation, you'll know that there's such a place called Prima Towers, okay, the revolving restaurant of Singapore, okay, that overlooks actually the Sentosa. Okay, so BreadTalk, okay, being actually the latecomer, it goes about doing certain things to change the confectionery business. So one of the key things that they've done, they have created value innovation through this sticking out, okay, of the value curve. At the same time, they are also reviewing how can I do things better than Prima Deli? How can we remove certain things that Prima Deli have, but is not essential to my customers? Okay. So in the pursuit, okay, for BreadTalk, for differentiation and low cost, these are things that they've done. First, they eliminated old school concepts. The old school bakery is not cool, okay? It's not as enticing as the modern bakeries of today. So eliminated old school concepts. They brought life, okay, to the piece of bread that you have today. 2, they created, okay, boutique designer bread. Okay, they tell you, oh, these are not ordinary bread, okay, but it's made from flour, okay, and flour comes from wheat, okay. It's made from flour, and these are special bread. Okay, why are they special? Because they have a name, they have life, okay. They are coming through the hands of our designers. They are created specially for you. They also introduced see-through kitchens. Okay, gone are the days where bakeries are hiding behind the scene. You know, from the transformation of flour into actually bread, everything just happens in a closely knitted kitchen. BreadTalk was the only one, okay, and in fact the first one that introduced a see-through kitchen. Okay, so they created see-through kitchens to enhance customer experience. And if you come across see-through kitchens, BreadTalk was the only one that created that. And another culinary concept that was quite close was actually Din Tai Fung. If you all realize Din Tai Fung also have a see-through kitchen, okay? So why are see-through kitchens the trend? Because they both belong to BreadTalk group. Okay, BreadTalk experimented actually with see-through kitchens. They brought in the same concept to other culinary actually concepts. So why is see-through kitchen so powerful? Okay, and how does it form part of innovation? We're going to discuss that later on. But before we do that, we'll look at how increase, okay, or reduce cost. It increase productivity, it reduce cost at the same time through automation. A lot of these processes are no longer using manual labor. Okay, they use machines. They use actually cooking equipments. Okay, use actually a lot of sophisticated equipment to help you to get around ordering. Okay, so and so forth. And at the same time, they change the process. They do e-scheduling. They look at e-production. They no longer actually use the traditional pen and paper to plot, oh, who should be working or who should not be working, who's supposed to be performing this duty and not. Okay, everything is electronic. Okay, and everything is actually cascaded out through smartphones. Okay, there are people use a smartphone, okay, to carry out any form of actually scheduling of work duties. So if I were to actually disassemble BreadTalk's innovation, okay, for people who have been with me during the second webinar, okay, you know that I've been talking about the 10 types of innovation. So today I'm going to dissect a bit more about BreadTalk. What have they done, okay, to make it so different versus other bakeries? First model, okay, they created premium pricing through designer bread. Okay, when it's designer bread, it deserves a premium. They try to convince you this is a different piece of bread. It's not your usual bread that you get in your household neighborhood stores. Okay, and because it's not ordinary, I'm going to charge you a higher price. And bread becomes $1.70 when in your neighborhood stores it's only $1. So 70 cents premium, not a bad idea. Okay, for designer bread. Okay, networks. Okay, these are some of the key things that they do. They do complementary partnering with Yoast, Nestle. Okay, they carry out a lot of actually partnerships with all these actually beverage brands. Okay, Yoast provided them with soya bean, the soya milk. Nestle provided them with Milo. Okay, although some of this innovation can backfire. Okay, but because in terms of time, I cannot elaborate too much on why Yoast collaboration backfired. Okay. But there was a very, very big hoo-ha about that collaboration with Yoast. Okay, that went wrong. Okay, it was supposed to be good, but it went the wrong way. Okay, and you have actually licensing arrangements with Disney franchisees, okay, to use their images, their cartoons for cakes, so on and so forth. They have a lot of franchising agreements. They have secondary markets. So with bread, they realize that people who take bread needs coffee. Okay, they realize that people who takes bread will probably be looking for something more than just bread. Okay, sandwiches probably. Okay, they created this secondary market called Toastbox. Toastbox were actually partnering with BreadTalk, okay, together. And today you see some of these actually BreadTalk outlets. You will see a BreadTalk, okay, connected with a Toastbox, hand in hand. Okay, and they share some common space. Okay, structure. They had their own competency centers. Okay, competency centers in the sense of their own training academy and their R&D research labs. Okay, and BreadTalk headquarters has something else beyond the norm of what other bakeries have. They have a partnership with Sunrise. Okay, Sunrise is actually a culinary academy that trains a lot of chefs. Okay, so BreadTalk has a formal arrangement with Sunrise, where all the culinary chefs, okay, all these bakers, okay, they will have to be trained by Sunrise, okay, and Sunrise, after certifying them, okay, achieving all the competencies, they would pass some of these actually trainees to BreadTalk. So in this actually very formal arrangement, BreadTalk was able to lower its recruitment costs. Why? Because the same Sunrise Academy and BreadTalk are found in the same headquarters. Okay, it's just a matter of levels. Okay, so someone who needs talents, someone who needs staff, no longer need to go too far. They are built in-house, right under the same roof that you're in. Okay, so in that, they had their own training academy, and they have their own research labs, and this allows them to roll out, okay, more and more innovative products. Okay, process, they localize your products. Okay, pork floss bun is something very native to Southeast Asia, in fact, to Singapore. If you go to most parts of the world, you probably will not hear so much about pork floss. Okay, so they actually spend time to localize their products. Okay, they created actually a lot of local bread that's named very differently from the norm. So for example, you have ampan bread. So what's ampan bread? A-N-P-A-N. Okay, ampan bread is actually basically yam. Okay, yam bread. Okay, why do they call it ampan? Okay, it is actually the design of a very cute, okay, smiley face. Okay, ampan itself was actually borrowed. Okay, this name was borrowed from Taiwan. Okay, and in Taiwan itself, when people say yam, okay, many a times they pronounce it as ampan. Okay, so and that's how actually BreadTalk Bread gets its name. They localize the product, they give it names. Okay, and automation, a lot of e-scheduling, and I mentioned that earlier. They also style. Okay, they tell you it's not your usual piece of bread. This piece of bread that you came across was coming out from my designers. Okay, my bread designers, and because they're bread designers, they deserve a premium. You need to pay more. Okay, that's why they look so different. So styling was one of the key performance that they had. Okay, product systems. So they bundle that, okay, with different things, okay, especially when there's a festive holiday or a special occasion like Hari Raya is around the corner, they'll give you special promotions, okay, bundle more products together into one, okay. They have added service, okay, they have this integrated flashing system, okay, that sends out messages, okay, via your mobile phones when their fresh products are ready, okay, for you to buy. And obviously this is something that was borrowed from the supermarket. They allow you to try new bread types before you buy. They give you small bites, okay? Every time you walk past, they give you small bites. Okay, the idea is to let you try out first. If you like it, maybe you should try buying at least one piece from them. Okay, brand, they will have this see-through kitchen to show you their chefs, how good they are, how experienced they are, how good they can be in transforming bread, okay, in the transformation of bread. Okay, and transparency, especially this see-through kitchen, okay, was not meant to entice you and me, okay, not the average adults. It was meant to entice one group of audience, okay, the kids who are born to be curious, okay, and kids, every time when they go to a mall or they walk past a bakery, when you see kids, you realize that parents are around the corner, okay, and when kids are enticed through this see-through kitchen, okay, normally they'll spend actually at least a couple of minutes tiptoeing to see what happens behind the other side of the glass, okay. So that actually captures the curiosity of the kid. And when the kid stays long enough, they can literally see the transformation of flour into pieces of bread. And that's exactly what BreadTalk wants you to see, okay. I want to let you know how good I am. I want to capture your curiosity, and I want to draw the attention of your kids. Okay, and once I draw the attention of kids, okay, when parents walk past, okay, they try to actually ask what the kids are looking at. The kids will always say, "Oh, I want that piece of bread. I think it's quite interesting. Okay, I like that piece of bread. I would like to try it fresh." And they get actually the kids to convince the parents to buy the bread for them. So it's a very smart way of using transparency to entice the attention of wanted customers. Okay, and obviously in the customer engagement, they talk about status. Okay, by virtue you are patronizing me, BreadTalk, okay, you are different from the rest. You are not the average bread consumer. You are not the average customer. You are of a certain status. You're probably middle class or better, okay, because I'm using baking artistry, okay, to actually evolve, right? And my store identity itself is always modern, okay, contemporary, okay, and that caters to a lot of affluent middle class. Okay, what is more interesting is actually the naming of breads. Every of their products have a special name. They don't get confused. Sometimes it can backfire when you start to give names to your products, okay. It can actually carry out a very special effect, but it can also be carried out very naturally. When our late forefather, Mr. LKY, passed away, okay, BreadTalk did exactly something the same. They named a new piece of bread, okay, as LKY, Mr. LKY. And that created a lot of negative publicity, okay. Of course, negative publicity is bad for any company, but it's also good because in the process of that, okay, a lot of people comes into contact with BreadTalk items, okay, and BreadTalk eventually has to do some apology later on, but it has actually been whimsy and personality that allows BreadTalk to differentiate versus any other bakeries. So much that a lot of bakeries today, especially those neighborhood stores or shops, they're trying to imitate, they're trying to give different names. Some of these names doesn't rub off very well with me. For example, you may call yourself Pork Frost, okay, a Pork Frost bun. I will always be asking, how is this different from Bread Talk? Because Bread Talk was the one who named their bread that way. So how are you going to differentiate? Okay, so whimsy and personality can be quite enticing to first-time customers, but it can also backfire if you misuse it. Okay, last but not least, there's cross-selling, all right, under channel innovation. So you realize that actually for Bread Talk, it's not as simple just as selling you a piece of bread. Okay, they spend a lot of thoughts to examine each of these innovation and assemble it into integrated offering. Okay, and these 10 types of innovation that combines together, that gives you a synergistic effect. And that's one reason why Bread Talk was able to outshine a lot of bakeries today. At the same time, they were able to stay ahead of the curve and become public listed within a short window of time. Obviously, under the COVID situation, Bread Talk has a fair bit of challenges, but I think for a company that's innovative enough, they are in the search for the next disruptive innovation. And it's just a matter of time before they come up with something because they have the resources. They're entrepreneurial in nature. They are very, very much on their toes on things as well. So I will be keeping a lookout for Bread Talk innovation, okay, in the near future. All right, let's move on to fast food. Okay, because it's closer to lunch now, I thought fast food may be very enticing to hungry people or hungry learners like you. So when we look at actually fast food, okay, you'll say, oh, fast food has been around for a long time. They're also known as quick service food, okay, QSF. Okay, QSF, okay, has been around for decades, has been around for a couple of decades today. So how can it be innovative? Well, you don't really need to actually have something that's sticking out all the while. You can just look at differentiation. What are the things that you're removing? What are the things that you're enhancing? How can you differentiate yourself from the rest of your competitors? So the 6 factors of production that you see here are how fast food giants are competing with each another. So I've given you actually 2 cases, McDonald's and Burger King. So this straight line that you see, okay, is actually McDonald's. Okay, this blue line that you see is Burger King. Okay, so you see a very big gap in between here. Okay, these are the areas of differentiation. Okay, all right, these are the business model of any fast food giants. Okay, these are things that they need to do. These are things that they've been doing for decades. These are things that they have been trying to look out for. Okay, any of these factors, okay, if it's missing, will crash. Okay, you allow the business model to crash immediately. So when we look at business model, it's not just telling us, okay, these are the key things that integrate together. It's also reminding us that these are the things that we need to focus very well. Okay, we need to pay a lot of attention to make sure that your business is intact. Okay, and in McDonald's business innovation, they look at bundling, they look at forced scarcity. Okay, amidst this COVID situation, okay, when McDonald's announced a closure, okay, for 2 weeks, okay, in the last 2 weeks, do you think that McDonald's is actually sad about it? I don't think they are. In fact, they were making use of forced scarcity, okay, to a certain extent. Okay, when you don't get something, I keep you waiting. And the more you wait, the more you want to buy from me. Okay, so what is it that actually Burger King remained open and McDonald's decided to close? You think it's just actually because of COVID? I think it's not as simple as that. Yes, they could be scared about the safety and the health concerns of McDonald's staff, but at the same time, they're also using forced scarcity to a certain extent because throughout their business model, they have always used forced scarcity, okay, to their effects. And in that, you see seasonal menus. Okay, for example, Mr. Kiasu Burger, if some of you still recall, that was very, very long time ago. Mr. Kiasu Burger, Prosperity Burger, Samurai Burger, okay, EB Fry Burger, so and so forth. This don't really happen every other day. Okay, it's only introduced for a short period of time. And every time when it is introduced to the market, there will be a spike, okay, in the demand for these burgers. Why? Because it's special. It's not available all year round. But why don't they do that to actually the other core products like filet or fish? Why don't they do that to McChicken? Because if they do that to the core business itself, right, they will not be able to actually build up, okay, the demand very quickly. So they decided to use forced scarcity in different formats going through seasonal menu. Okay, networks. Okay, when you look at networks, they partner exclusively with Coca-Cola. So what does Coca-Cola see in McDonald's? Vice versa. There's always something benefits. Okay, Coke is always by default the default default drink, okay, to go along with any other fries or any other burgers. Okay, Burger King decides to partner with actually Pepsi. So why is this so interesting? Why would Coke partner with McDonald's and then Pepsi will partner with Burger King? Well, it has to do with complementary partnering. What do they see in each another? Okay, and of course you have secondary markets where you are leveraging on McDonald's, okay, to go into something else. In this case, it's gourmet coffee in the form of McCafe. Okay, structure. Okay, some of you may have heard of this corporate university called Hamburger University. Hamburger University itself was set up as a leadership, okay, as a leadership actually center for up and coming promising McDonald's employees who are going to take on senior management roles. Okay, and the process of them going to get a certificate, just exactly like you guys will be obtaining if you finish a degree program. Okay, Hamburger University gives a lot of certifications out, okay, to their leaders. Okay, and in Hamburger University, they try to educate their leaders about what is it like, okay, to bring the McDonald's value to a higher level, how to actually carry out all the processes to perfection. So they, in the process of doing that, they certify, okay, all these leaders by giving them actually a diploma, okay, from Hamburger University. It's quite funny if you have come across a Hamburger University cert, which I have come across as well. The logo itself is not McDonald's. It's not the famous M. Okay, it's not the arts. Okay, it's actually a burger. The logo itself is a burger. Okay, and unfortunately, I don't have it on screen here. But if you guys go to Google when you type the hamburger certs, you'll be able to see that. All right. Okay, outsourcing, they will cherry pick certain farms. Okay, and these farms, they will never reveal to you, okay, who they are or where are they located, because they want to make it sustainable. And it's only through this actually farms, selected farms, that you have your apple pies, you have your actually your chicken nuggets, so on and so forth. Okay, so nobody knows where it is located, but they decided to keep it, okay, confidential. But one thing they always look out for is sustainability. What are these farms doing, okay, to actually carry out their farming processes? Product customization. Okay, in McDonald's, you can DIY, you can design your own burger. Okay, they allow you to actually mix and match all the different ingredients to form your own unique burger. My advice is try not to do that. I tried to do that before. I mixed pineapples, okay, pickles, okay, and with a lot of other breakfast items into my McChicken. It was a disaster. Okay, but it is innovative enough where it allows me to design my own. Okay, I thought if I like actually my maple syrup, I can add maple syrup. I like pineapples, I add pineapples. Okay, but in the place of me mixing and matching, it may not be such a good product after all. Okay, but it allows you to customize. It gives you personality. You choose what you want to go into your burger. Okay, so they call it the DIY burger, right? McDonald's have that. Okay, superior products, where we know fries, nuggets, so on and so forth. They excel in terms of giving you quality products that's maintained. Okay, maintaining its quality throughout. Okay, process. Okay, they automated the whole process, so they use a common network from the point of sale, okay, to the kitchen. No longer do they need to shout. No longer do they need to write on paper. It's just with a key of the button on the POS system, and the kitchen will receive the orders virtually immediately. Okay, and they go about preparing for your food items. So that saves a lot of manpower, save a lot of redundancies. Okay, and save a lot of actually potential. Okay, save a lot of potential for mistakes. Okay, and localization of menus. That's where we get our very localized burgers. Okay, for example, the Kiasu burgers, the Prosperity burgers. Okay, and recently Nasi Lemak burger, if you still recall. So it's localized to suit our own local tastes. Okay, process standardization. All the cooking methods, all the food preparation, all the equipment are the same across all 100+ outlets across the whole island. Okay, French fries, for example, the cooking time is actually 3.5 minutes. Nothing more, nothing less. 3.5 minutes to perfection. The moment 3.5 minutes is up under a particular temperature, they will have to remove their French fries within 10 seconds. So how do I know that they actually standardize this process? Well, when I was younger, I was a staff of McDonald's. Okay, so that was when I was very young. So I know some of these processes are not going to go away. And when they're actually sorting your fries, okay, it's 6.5 arches. Okay, you know when they sort their fries, it's actually from top to from bottom to top, and then from left to right. So they calculated it's 6.5 arches. Okay, and that's actually a perfect sorting of your French fries. So every process must be the same. Okay. Eventually, they go into brand transparency. They tell you, okay, today, because of health consciousness, I'm going to tell you what goes into each of these items that you consume. Okay, they tell you the calorie intakes. They bring you behind the kitchen. They do, sometimes they even arrange a kitchen tour, okay, for school groups. Okay, they bring kids, school children behind, okay, to a McDonald's kitchen to see what really happens behind the scene. Okay, that's to entice, to build more awareness, okay, among their intended customers. Okay, brand leverage. Okay, with McDonald's, the famous M, they created McCafe. Okay, McDonald's is such a powerful name. So now if I can create a McCafe, okay, I can go into gourmet coffee. I can compete with Starbucks. Okay, and because I'm McDonald's, I should have all it takes to compete with Starbucks in the gourmet coffee business. So they are leveraging on that brand. They are also co-branding, okay, with all the major film producers and films. So that's when you see Happy Meals always coming with cartoons, okay, always coming with figurines. Okay, this is actually partnership. When there's an up and coming movie, US and McDonald's will change its merchandise to suit that upcoming movie. Okay, so these are some of the co-branding that McDonald's have done in terms of brand innovation. Okay, service. You can self-order. You have your order kiosk today. You no longer need to have so many people at the counters taking your orders. You can just do it yourself, pay, and then just wait for your orders to be called, your numbers to be called. They also do actually added service. They bring the food to you instead of you just waiting at the counter. They'll say, okay, why don't you collect one of these actually carts, okay, that's placed beside the orange kiosk. And once your food is ready, we'll deliver that to you. So that's a form of extra service, something that's missing, okay, many years ago. Channel, you have experience center. So McDonald's invested in an outlet, okay, in Kidzania, okay, and it was meant to be an experience center. So why did McDonald's invest in Kidzania? Okay, because the key audience of McDonald's today is still the kids. Okay, kids are enticed by McDonald's. How many kids today have never gone to their parents and said, I want a McDonald's meal, Happy Meal? I think you probably can't come across much of these kids. Okay, and that's exactly what McDonald's saw in Kidzania. Okay, I go in, I will open a small little outlet. I'll allow these kids who visited Kidzania to have their first try in preparing their own actually cheeseburger. Okay, in return for a small charge, because they need to cover the cost of the ingredients. Okay, and it was meant to be an experience center. So it builds actually the excitement in kids. It builds the awareness in kids. And eventually when these kids, okay, grow up, okay, into young adults, when they grow up into working adults, they'll still remember McDonald's. It was meant to be an experience center. Okay, you have indirect distribution through your Grab food, your Deliveroo, so on and so forth. So indirect distribution, no longer will they send direct. They can send direct, but they can also do it indirectly. Okay, and there's a lot of cross-selling. When you go to McDonald's, you may not just be buying French fries. You can also be buying a McCafe coffee, right? And you have on-demand ordering. Okay, product bundling. You actually put French fries, burgers, and a drink together to form your Happy Meal. Okay, you have curation. Okay, curation means I will help you to choose what is important. Okay, for example, if you are a very health conscious person, let me assemble the McDonald's salad. Let me assemble maybe the corn or something that's lower in calories to form it as a healthy meal. Okay, I spend time to look at the nutrition aspect of things. I put together a special menu for people who are looking at different perspective, different value proposition. I will also give you a personality. Okay, each of these new burger types has a different name. So what is so different about the prosperity burger versus a samurai burger? Do you all know that actually the buns are the same? Do you all know that actually the beef patties inside are the same? It's just the difference of the sauce. Okay, but why are they called different names? Because it builds recall, it builds personality, it builds identity. So every time when you see, oh, samurai burger coming up, okay, if you're a favorite friend, you definitely go queuing, even though that you know that it has been offered every other year subsequently at different periods of time. Okay, my favorite McDonald's burger, okay, today, it is unfortunately it's taken off the shelf. I'm still enticing. Okay, I'm still waiting for it to reappear. And obviously, you can find that I'm going to be one of the diehard fans, okay, belonging to this community. So, who are the actually diehard supporters of McDonald's today? Are they still the kids, or are these the schooling kids, as in the school children, or are these the working adults? So, regardless of whichever group they are in, okay, McDonald's have something different from them. And together they build a small little ecosystem, okay, that is actually very typical of McDonald's, okay, especially schooling kids. You realize that a lot of school kids like to go to McDonald's to study after school. So that's actually one of the biggest thing, okay, for them. All right. Okay. So coming to these two cases, I just want to bring you further away. Okay. Obviously, in disruptive innovation can be quite challenging. If you look at the contents, especially if you are a layman, you may not know what to do. So a lot of businesses will also ask this question. Okay, if I'm so successful, okay, if I am already listening to my customers, I have a lot of happy customers. Why do I need to do something different? Okay, why do I need something new in the first place? So you have to actually ask this question of whether should you continue to do what you're doing, or should you create new products, okay, and try to improve the profit margins. Okay, in both, you will notice there's this actually conflicting ideas and objective. You need to find what is working for you, okay, and how to go about doing this. My advice, okay, from a dilemma's perspective, you have your established business, of course, it's very successful, very profitable, no doubts about it. You have some other businesses out there, may not be the same as you, okay, who's trying to disrupt or taking an aim at your business. They are trying to actually grow as well, okay, so they start outside of your business. You probably won't even catch them as a competitor. Same thing, when YouTube comes about, okay, YouTube has never been a real contender, okay, okay, to Spotify. But today, YouTube decided to say, okay, I'm also in the music business. I'm using YouTube Music, okay. I used to provide a lot of videos on demand. Now, I'm also in the music business. So someone who's unlike you may decide to encroach into your turf and take away some of your market share. And if you allow them to grow bigger and bigger, okay, they will take away what we call the displacement market. Okay, they are going to eat in your business, and you could be very profitable, obviously, from the start. But if you are not reacting fast enough, okay, remember disruptive businesses grow exponentially within a short period of time. Before you realize it, a big chunk of your market share is going to be gone. And if you still allow them to go unchecked, this disruptive business will eat up your entire established business and become the next established business. Okay, so question for thought: should you stay comfortable where you are? Should you do something new? Okay, I don't have the perfect answers for you. Okay, it's up to every individual organization's requirement and every individual's needs. But what I can only say is that disruptive business is going to be here to stay, and it's either you're at the top of things or you're going to actually get delayed by all this transformation. Okay, so with that, I come to the end of my presentation. I just want to bring you to actually attention on two things. Okay, first, of course, my next webinar. Okay, I've been talking to my colleagues in Aventis, and we've been thinking about actually some of the emerging webinars, okay, or some of the topics that could be more enticing. Okay, I find that actually it's very important because I've spent the last 3 weeks talking about different aspects of innovation. And some people may have this thought about, okay, yes, I want to innovate. I'm hoping to innovate. I have a very compelling idea. But how am I going to actually find money? How am I going to start? Okay, where am I going to actually get my first pot of capital, okay, to do something drastic? Okay, that's when I decided to introduce innovation finance. This is not fintech. This is innovation finance. That means I'm going to bring you into the world of venture capitalists. I'm going to bring you to the world of business angels, okay? And I'm trying to look at other things like crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, so on and so forth. How you can actually get your hands on that initial capital to jumpstart, okay, a disruptive business. Okay, and with that, some of these contents are also covered, okay, in 2 other programs, more structured programs, obviously, where they are longer. That will be the graduate diploma in digital transformation. Okay, that's starting in June, and then also the MBA, where it's forming part of a strategy module. Okay, questions, anyone? Okay, I would like to invite you to unmute, okay, and ask questions if you have, so that I can answer them. Anyone who would like to go first? So here I have some comments over the chat session. Yeah, interestingly, some of you actually knows what Ampan is about, okay? But Ampan itself is actually taken from actually Taiwan. The idea of Ampan bread is taken from Taiwan. Yes, it's actually in Japanese, but it was first used by the Taiwanese. Okay. Okay. So here, I think Tavadas was saying that McDonald's is losing big money due to closure. Okay. It's true. Yes, McDonald's have been losing some money. Okay, but they are still very profitable, and they will probably be able to still actually look at new areas of actually innovation. Okay, and you realize actually throughout the webinar, there are two big takeaways. Okay, both businesses have 10 types of innovation. Okay, and they spend a lot of time to think about how to innovate. Okay, and how to outcompete the incumbents. And in the process of them designing an innovation, they had to first look at what they are offering first, understand the market, look at how the market or how the competitors are faring before they look at new areas of innovating their offerings or their process. So you realize that in the process of disruptive innovation, it's not enough to say, okay, I know what my competitors are doing, I know what they will probably be doing in the near future. It's about you taking a step backwards, okay, and redefine, okay, the boundaries of competition.
Stanley, can I ask a question? Devadas here.
Sure.
Stanley, I think very interesting value innovations slides that you showed. Very great.
Thank you.
Useful. Very useful. One question I have, because your examples are mainly existing example, which is already in the world for many, many years, as you mentioned. But I'd like to see if newcomers, I'm sure we use MPV models, value model to see how to develop this, right? For newcomers, value innovations, I think, how you think we should prepare it in value innovation, because we need to test the market without anything, right? So what is your idea, or maybe can give suggestion how we can look into it for the new products?
Okay, I think MVP itself is just one aspect of innovation. Okay, MVP itself is when you're talking about minimum viable proposition, right? Okay, so MVP itself is under product innovation. Okay, unfortunately, that is one of the areas where every businesses is competing. Okay, to actually to innovate. And to be honest, there are three forms of innovation that you see practically every day. Any business, any organization, that has to do with product, process, okay, and service. Okay, and these three types of innovation is insufficient, honestly, especially if you are going to be a disruptive business. To be a disruptive business, you need to have at least 6 to 7 types of innovation built into your offering. Okay, and just a quick example. Okay, you look at actually Netflix. Okay, Netflix itself, yes, they've been around for a long time. They started with actually the rental of DVDs. Okay, but you realize that actually they discover something. Okay, other than just giving you the basic firm. Okay, there's through digital models, etc. They went to pricing model. They go into subscription. They look at how they move away from rental to a monthly subscription membership based model. They look at actually the possibilities of giving you a lot of contents. Okay, so it's about content creation. And that, once again, is the MVP that they have. They try to actually roll out some enticing firms first, blockbusters usually. Okay, and as they build the traction, they will invite a lot of smaller firms, niche producers to add on to this offering. So to answer your question about MVP, what you need to do is you need to identify what is a minimum acceptable level of product, okay, before you go to the market. And just with one MVP, in honest context, is not enough. You need to at least invest in 5 types of innovation.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, all right. So I think to answer your question, look at more than just service, look at more than just product or process. Okay, I'm sure there are many other areas that you can innovate. For example, channel innovation.
Exactly. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Stanley.
No problem. Okay. Any other questions I have? Is it because I'm coming close to lunch? Okay. Any others that you want to have? Logistics in the red ocean. How about those? Okay, I have a question from Priscilla. Okay. You said logistics in the red ocean. How about those in real estates and artistry? Okay. Yes. Okay. Real estate definitely is a red ocean. Okay. How many real estate agents are there out there? There are more than hundreds of them, thousands of them. Okay. And every day, Okay, you see them doing the same old thing. Okay, they take out advertisement. Okay, they place in the papers. Okay, they do their pamphlet distribution. They will put their property listings, okay, on actually the website, so on and so forth. But isn't that very old school? Isn't that different? Any different from what other actually real estates have been doing years ago? Isn't that the same? It's just a proven model, and when you're proving it as a model, what I can tell you is real estate. Okay, in many parts of the world, real estate is being disrupted as we speak. No longer will you have actually real agents, person agents. You will have robots. Okay, and these are your robo property agents. Okay, you like actually a piece of property, you log into the website, they will have AIs. Okay, they have chatbots. Okay, to discuss with you about property prices, telling you what are the merits of this. So do you really need a person to show you around? Not really. Okay, gone are the days. Even pharmaceutical is being disrupted as I speak today. Okay, in the past, when you need to get your medication, you have to visit a doctor. You have to wait for them to dispense your medication. But in the States, okay, you have what we call robo pharmacy dispensers. You go and talk to a machine. You tell them what are your symptoms. Okay, and this machine itself, right, by understanding your symptoms, etc., they'll dispense the generic drugs. Okay, so do you need to see a doctor? Not really. You no longer need to see a doctor. You can go to a pharmacist and get your doctors and get your medication fixed. So artists, interestingly, I've been seeing a lot of articles today, okay, where art galleries are going virtual, okay, especially with this COVID situation. Gone are days where you need to have a physical space, okay, for art actually displays. You can actually use a lot of new mechanisms. For example, when you look at innovation, okay, you can look at actually channel distribution. So who says actually art pieces must be distributed, okay, through the formal system like an art gallery? Okay, who says that it must be distributed through a competition? Okay, or when there's a tendering process. Maybe what you should be doing is you should look at the business model of it and look at some of the innovative ways where you can infuse some of this innovative thinking to transform the rules of the game. Okay, and as I'm speaking right now, I'm just thinking, okay, since you know that a lot of people are on COVID, okay, right now on COVID situation, okay, what's stopping you from actually providing more of virtual display? Okay, like virtual display in the sense that you can actually maybe, okay, you subscribe to this membership network of mine, and then every 3 months, I will send you new art pieces, okay, to replace what you have bought in the past. Similar nature, okay, but it's only for a membership-based subscription. You pay me a fixed amount, say every month, this amount, I will send you at least 1 to 2 new art pieces, so that you can actually refresh, okay, your home, okay, or your office, right? Okay, so yes, I think innovation itself is for all industries, and it's going to change a lot of people's way of doing things. So for a lot of you who are very interested in innovation, there are a lot of other webinars coming up. Okay, and I would like to actually encourage all of you, especially if you're interested in finding money, okay, for innovation. Okay, stay tuned to my next webinar, which is about innovation finance. I'll bring you to the world of venture capitalists. I'll share with you how does Grab, okay, builds itself so quickly using other people's money, okay, and why are they becoming a billionaire unicorn today? Okay, what is really behind the scene? Series A, Series B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? I'm going to tell you the mechanics behind that, all right? Okay.
So Stanley, Sharon here.
Yes.
I just have a quick question. If there is enough demand, would you be considering opening up a program for innovation finance?
Innovation finance, okay. To be honest, this is a very new topic. I'm not too sure whether there's enough demand for that, to be honest, because I have conducted that as part of my classes in the past, where I share with a lot of my students, my trainees, what happens behind the scene. But yes, it can be an area worth investigation. Okay, it can be an area that I will probably take it offline. But I will leave it to Emily, okay, and my other colleagues to share with you a bit more. But if you're really actually trying to just get overall glimpse, I think that next webinar will be good enough. Okay, unless you are very much into the VC space or you're very much into the venture capital space itself. Okay, right?
Okay.
So yes, I will consider that. Okay, but a lot really depends on demand. Okay, in fact, I am very prepared to do a full-blown webinar for that. Okay, Any other questions? If not, okay, I will end today's webinar. Okay, I would like all of you, if you have any questions, okay, can you do me a favor? If you have any questions, feel free to drop Emily an email, or actually Amanda an email. Okay, they will help me to collate some of these questions, and then we can actually have a more thorough discussion during my next webinar. So my next webinar itself will be on innovation finance, and I'm going to actually bring you behind a bit more, okay, about the VC's world, okay, and the venture capitalist world. Okay, so together we're going to look at how all these multinational MNCs, how these unicorns evolve, okay, and how they're going to get their pool of money to finance a losing business. Okay, interestingly, unicorns are still loss-making, but they're billionaire worth businesses. So that's because of innovation. We're going to look at the mechanism, how to finance them, okay, in the next webinar. All right, thank you for your time. And if there's no questions for everyone, okay, thank you for your high opinion, and then we will catch up again, okay, in 2 weeks' time. Give everybody a bit of time to rest, okay, and then we will speak again. Okay, I'll speak again on the 28th of May. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. All right.